Okay, now we're gonna take the same questions we talked before in the first and second theory. The first question, in the first part, is the creator in your material world whom you can see him? Or who you can see? Who you can see. So he obligates under the material world's rules. The answer is no, he is invisible in this life, and we matches axiom number we match axiom number 5. Why? Because there is no obligating or obligation under universal rules. We accept it. We accept the axiom, and the premise matches the axiom we accepted. Again, we accept the axiom, and then the premise matches or doesn't contradict the axiom we accepted before. Yes. And the question number 2, do you mean that his substance local have the same nature? Do they distinct from each other? It means the nature and the local. Is they or are they distinct from each other or identical to each other? The question is no, they don't originally distinct from each other. So we match it, or we match axiom number the question is yes, I mean the substance has the same nature. They don't distinct from each other, and we accept or we accept axiom number 2 and 4, and by this premise we match the axioms number 2 and 4 we accepted before. Means, or why? Because no multi-species which required for special nature or required obligation underneath. Because we say the local and nature is one, don't separate from each other. So there is no multi-species required for special nature, or every number 2 or axiom number 2 say every local or substance or person has a special nature, and if there is multi-species or multi-person, so must every person have or has the same the special nature. We don't say that. Why? Because we say one nature, one local, doesn't separate or distinct from each other. The question number 3. How does the substance get the nature? Again, how does the substance get the yes? How does the substance get the nature? The question. They don't originally distinct from each other, so there is no incarnation, there is no get in one union, or etc. And we accept axiom number 3, and by this premise we match we don't contradict the axiom number 3. Why? Because we don't say there is changing. We don't say there is obligation underneath which imposed by incarnation or get in one union or sharing the body between 3 persons or sharing the nature between 3 persons. Yes. The question number 4. How does the substance exist? Are there multi-substances there? Regarding the creator, the answer is no, there is no multi-substances, and the substance nature is one, first, and immortal as prime mover. Immortal, could it die? Immortal, could it change? Immortal, etc. And by those words or these words, we accept the axiom number 4, and by this premise, we match the axiom number 4 also. Why? Because we don't say that there is multi-species called for the time in between and limited chain. And limited chain, we don't say that. We say there is one substance and nature as a creator, as a prime mover in first from the beginning, immortal creator, as an immortal prime mover or creator. The question number 5. Is the invisible God self-standing, self-sufficient, independent, and necessary existence? The question is yes. And we accepted the axiom number 1, and by oneness in his substance, in his existence, in his substance and nature, no multi-species, no composition in God, we match it, or we match this axiom number 1. So we accept it, and by premise we don't contradict it. And why? Because as we said, and we don't say that the creator is possible existence. Why? Because possible existence need other parts or need other multi-species, multi-persons. We don't say that. We say he is the one in his nature and local, couldn't fall apart. He is one in his existence. There is no multi-substance or person. Therefore, he is a necessary existence. The question number 6. Yes. May peace and blessing be upon Muhammad, the messenger of Allah. Yes. The question number 6. How could you identify the visible God and his predications? The answer is there is no visible God here in this life. And by these words we accept and match axiom number 1 and 5. Why? Because he is the creator, prime mover, is not in our material world, and he doesn't obligate under the universal rules, so he is necessary existence, because universal rules could change, and if he changes the prime mover as a prime mover, if he changes under the universal rules, that means he is possible existence, and we don't say that. The question number 7. How could you identify the invisible God, his predications? How could you identify the creator, invisible God, today? But he will be visible after life. He is the essence. The answer is, he is the essence who is independent from the creator or from the creatures whom we can see after life. His attributes don't separate from his essence. His attributes distinct from each other, but they are identical to the essence, to his essence, and as one creator. And by these words we accept and match axiom number 1 and 3 and 4. Why? Because we say he is necessary existence. He doesn't need his parts, because there is no composition in God. He doesn't need other person, because there is no multi-species or there is no multi-persons there. So we match axiom number 1 and 3 and 4. Now you can see that in the first part, this we called it as reach of mind. That is what the messengers remind us about the creator oneness and subjections, who agreed by all Islamic communities Why? Because all Islamic communities said that the God is one in his existence, he is one in his nature and substance. But you as non-Muslim, you have to obligate under his teaching by knowing those or these accents. Oneness in his existence means no multi-substance. Oneness in his essence means no composition in the creator which is required by necessary existence, or which is required by logical axioms which imposed by necessary existence. The creator set up the universal witnesses, constants, to reach him by your mind. So the creator set up the logical axiom to reach him by your mind, and then you have to surround to his teaching, to his order, to his information, which informed by his messengers about special attributes, and you have not analyzed him with his special attributes, and that we will see in the second part of this theory.